Latest development as far as Nairobi County is concerned and the national government, just to wind up on it, we were saying and we're looking at the aspect of uncoupling now this particular county and let it be a metropolis. Will it also bring any discernible difference in the running affairs of the Nairobi County? And I think it is Okongo Mogene's turn right now as we just give the final remarks on that particular issue. Should we? But what are the implications? Does it also take a constitutional moment that we need to go to a referendum?
Yeah, first I think Honorable Member for Nandi Hills must be knowing two Mogenis. There's one who shouts and the real one who come. I don't know why I met him. I was with him in Issue the other day, and I was as calm as ever. So that is the true Mogeni. Yeah. Now, as I told you, if you look at countries that have federated, where you have states that stand on their own, you have a metropolis. Like I said, there is the Australian Capital Territory in Canberra. That's where the government is, and national government funds it, and it ensures it's clean, it's well planned, services are delivered, and when you are there, you feel that yes, I'm in the capital territory of this country. Mm. The same thing with Washington. Washington is not a state in the US. Mm. It's fully run and funded by the federal government. So if we were people who can bite the bullet, I think the best way to run Nairobi is to make it a metropolis. We remove the politics. Mm-hmm. I think the country is big enough. Our honorable members of county assembly can go and run in Nandi Hills and operate. Correct. So that we allow somebody who is a technocrat to run the city, because I think there's a lot of politics. There's a lot of politicking. You're asking us whether there was an attempt to impeach Governor Sakaja. Because we also designed our constitution in a way that, and I think Mheshimiwa here has been speaker, she can tell us more. We gave our MCAs a lot of powers. They have immense powers. I think if they cough, you must listen. So the process of removing a governor is also one of the easiest in the world. If you go to countries like US, if you want to remove a governor of a state, you must collect votes to put that question. And once you put the question, 50% of the people, 50% plus one of the people who voted for that governor must vote to remove him from office. Nairobi is very rigorous, in Nigeria rather, it's very rigorous. They will take the question to the High Court of that local state, and the High Court will look at the grievances, and they will collect evidence and listen to the case and deliver a verdict in 6 months. It's not as easy as we do it in Kenya. So if you asked me, and countries all over the world, there's no country that has never sat down to audit how our constitution is functioning, whether it is serving the people of that country, and then review. US has reviewed their constitution about 27 times. Canada has reviewed their constitution many times. South Africa has done the same. Australia, as latest as last year, we had the Ubuntu declaration going through a referendum, though it didn't go through. But in this country, we feel like if you're making a proposal, for example, to remove the county of Nairobi, it will be so politicized that no president has the courage to push that agenda through. But I think a time should come when, especially if you go into your second term as a president, bite the bullet, leave that as a legacy. That is the only way that Nairobi will be able to function. The resources are enough, but the corruption networks are deep-rooted. And if you step on their toes, you will burn your fingers the same day. So anybody who comes to Nairobi is received by the, how do you call them? By those corruption mandarins, cartels, and you are told, you know what, don't step on this one. If you step on this one, you will go. They are the ones who will sponsor an impeachment against you. So you will never really settle down And I'm sure even serving as a speaker, Mheshimiwa will tell you it's not easy. She must have gone through a lot. Because people will knock on your door, they want you to do certain things because they look at the resources and like, we need our cut, you know. We also want to dip our fingers, okay? So that really could be the way to go. These other things we are doing may be short-term measures, but they will never solve the problems of Nairobi. Finally, to sign off, Mheshimiwa, the issue of whether SHA is functioning, whether affordable housing is going to be impactful, should be a debate we can have a whole evening. But partly because SHA is not functioning is the reason why President Ruto is staring at a one term. Because I travel to my county every weekend. You get horrendous stories about SHA. People go to hospitals and they are told your card is not working because the network is down. People go to private hospitals and they are told this card was designed to only offer services at public hospitals. Yet, I can tell you as a person who has sympathy on Kenyans, the ones who are at the low cadre of income, that our public hospitals don't have the capacity to serve the 604,000 people who reside in the county of Nyamira. We don't have the capacity in our hospitals. So if you tell people who are having that card that you cannot access services at the private hospitals, then basically you are telling them, I don't care whether you get treatment or not.
Thank you.
Whereas the three of us sitting here can walk into Aga Khan, can walk to Nairobi Hospital, Mombasa Hospital, and you get treatment using the medical card that Parliament has given us. Why can't we be sympathetic enough, Debal, to do the same with the people who voted for us? If we want SHA to be a universal health coverage, let us have defined benefits for everybody who has a SHA card. You tell them you will access medical services where you will best be treated and attended. If it's a private hospital, so be it. If it's in a public hospital, well and good. But to deny Kenyans an opportunity, because you are saying if you have SHA, you can only get access to medical services at public hospitals, is a disservice.
Thank you. Right, thank you. You want to just wind up on it, or we just move on, because I'm looking at time and we need also to cover a wider base of issues.
I just want to say
just
this.
Briefly on the, Nairobi
Briefly on
County.
this thing of Nairobi. You know, that's why I said it will be wrong for us to say transfer of functions. It's a collaboration, I would tell you, and I've told you, just go and read the regeneration
report
framework, the way it was, is the same thing they have done.
And there is no voice of Mwananchi in this? Is that provision in the participation? As we've had one of the legislators really saying, where is the voice of the people?
No, as I said, what do I need? As Mwananchi, I would wish Nairobi to give me service and better services. So what we should be asking ourselves, and you remember when we started regeneration, because I was still a speaker even when we were doing that regeneration, and we used to sit on that committee. It's purely just coordination. Yes, the money will come, but it goes specifically to the agreements. If it is roads, roads. If it's this sewer, we have to do it. So if they will do the 52-kilometer sewer they are talking about and be able to connect all these homes that we have. I'll give you an example. When it rains in Kawangware, when you look at the sewer, you will say, we need a sewer. We need a sewer or else everything now comes out, or everything. And the school, you find even the primary schools, it's a mess. So let us have the services and let us agree that whether it is this governor or the last governor or the next governor, until we sit down as a country and say, how is Nairobi? Why is it that Nairobi has to go through all this?
Thank you. And
with all the functions that Nairobi carries, forget about functions of as a county. So you have to take care of your UN, your diplomats. Every person is looking at your capital city And so the national government must give security, must make Nairobi work, must make the roads work. It can't be just the county.
Thank you.
No, we'll be lying to
Thank
ourselves.
you.
Let me just weigh in on this, Dibal, and just say that, yes, we need to be progressive as a country, where we keep, when we were passing our constitution, we were envisaging most of these things, we were figuring them out. And there was a national conversation until we were able to pass the constitution. But now in the practicality, I think it is sufficient time also to review and look at, some institutions like now, devolution like Nairobi County. I think we need to relook at it. And of course, if it's going to take time to be able to change it to metropolis, then let's look at the services that are being offered in this city and stepping in by government to support. Off-cuff conversation, I was being updated here by a member of parliament for GOtv that some of the master plan that we have is actually of the colonial times. When you're talking about the sewerage, colonial times, several things that we are using in Nairobi.
The water master plan.
Water master plan is that which was done by the colonial times. So clearly we have overbusted the population. So I think the time has come, and indeed I want to thank President William Ruto for being extremely bold to take head on and say, and also Sakaja as well, that let us work together, put in serious resources, bring in a team that will seriously work to change literally everything in this city, infrastructure that is going to fit in the youth population increase that is in Nairobi, the pressure that is being inserted will now be able to be accommodated. You're talking about the so many buildings that have come up all over, They need also to have supporting infrastructure that can only be done by the support of the national government. So in my view, all Kenyans, Nairobians, let us support this agenda of bringing the national government working with the county government, and it is within the constitution. As to whether there is a public participation or not, that has not been captured in the Constitution. I told you, and every Kenyan can see Article 189, subsection 2, you can see it for yourself. So we are right in law. Let us support this move. Let's change our country.
I think that's very misleading. You don't need...
Let's move to the next.
You don't need
agenda.
Article 189 to say that when you do this agreement, there must be public participation. Any policy, any decision you make that affects the people, must go through public participation.
189 subsection 2.
It's the 189, I mean, you must read the
But I think,
Constitution
Dibal,
wholesomely. You don't read one article.
In its entirety.
Yes, you can't read one
as a standalone, yes.
Yeah, that's not the way you apply the Constitution.
but
So the issue, to be very fair to the people of Nairobi, the issue of public participation, and our courts have ruled on this over and over again. The courts have insisted that you cannot ignore the people on matters of public participation. When you're making such a drastic decision of handing over your functions to the central government, your people must have a say. You must bounce it on them. In fact, Governor Sakaja has acknowledged that public participation is very important. All he's telling us is that I've signed, but I am now taking this back to the assembly to enable them undertake public participation. What should have come first? What ought to have come first is public participation and a word of no objection from the county assembly, not the other way around. But again, the other
So
issue,
procedural propriety has been undermined.
there are issues of constitutional violation, but there's also another issue. I have heard Mheshimiwa saying the government is putting money into Nairobi because there is no adequate sewer connection. I think there is sewer, but it's not adequate. Do you know that?
there's none.
Where I come from? No, there's sewer.
The sewer
She's
you
the member of
have,
parliament for-
the sewer you
The
have
sewer.
it
Correct.
was
I mean-
made by the colonialists.
Correct.
I know
So you
even...
don't have any that an African has made since 1963.
Absolutely.
Well, I know even the water you drink, by the way. Those pipes were laid in the 1950s.
Yeah.
What is down here? What gives us this water, this nice water we are drinking? But the point I'm making is, it's not only Nairobi that is lacking sewer. In Nyamira, we don't have a sewer system anywhere. Not even one household in Nyamira is connected to a sewer. It's not there. So if you want to move the country forward, carry everybody. You know, this reminds me of
my commissioner.
a governor who took office in Australia. He served for 3 years. He found Melbourne had no sewer. Sydney had no sewer. Cairns had no sewer. By the time he was living in those 3 years, all those cities had sewer connection. So if the government has made a policy decision that we want to assist our urban centers, have them connected with lighting, which is good, have them have adequate roads, that's okay.
Potable water.
Sewer, water. Yeah. The thing, Article 27 then will say, this is our money. The 80 billion is part of my taxes.
Yeah.
If you want to support all the urban centers, share that money among all the counties, and you support all counties.
You see, what is very
you cannot, you cannot debal.
I am talking to someone who is about to sleep in Nairobi County.
And
he's not even going back to Nyamira County.
Who is tomorrow?
I like that.
Gonna use our water of Nairobi County, gonna use the sewer line of
Very
Nairobi
good.
County,
Yes.
and he says he wants Nyamira to have the same. Yet he first sleeps here 200 and something days and sleeps one day.
Every
that
year,
is how you play with
every
Nairobi.
year I pay rates to Nairobi. I pay parking fees here.
You see, he's a Nairobian.
I have a right to enjoy those services.
Exactly.
Okay?
So now
And
let Nairobi build.
the money that is going to be given to Nairobi is from our national tax kitty, where I'm also a contributor. The people of Nyamira also contribute. Why should the president pick Nairobi and leave other cities?
Tax kitty of Nairobi.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
see, at least they should thank Nairobi for giving them a lot of resources.
already,
Dibal.
Dibal, that money has been shared. We have already given Nairobi it is shared. Why are you singling this one county and saying you are giving them 8 billion, whereas Dibal, when we were sharing resources, we said, look, give counties 470 billion.
Well, I don't want to say it's a folly of what we did, because now you're arguing on the point that we need, Nairobi needs to be on an even keel with the Nyamira County.
No.
The one vote of Nairobi is equivalent to the vote of Nyamira. I mean, that is the most sad thing.
I didn't get
today.
that statement, that's the vote.
You are arguing as a senator of Nyamira that vote of Nyamira, where he has just told me he has 600,000 people, where Roy Sambu in Nairobi is double him. Roy Sambu.
But then can I tell you now?
Constituency.
A constituency.
Can I tell you what happens in Germany?
And he's talking about a county.
Can I tell you how counties function in Germany? In Germany, a county like Nairobi donates money to the small counties. Because not everybody will move to Nairobi.
We are not Germany.
No. I'm trying to educate you how devolution works.
No.
I'm trying to educate you how devolution works. So, in Germany, the way it works, Debal, is if a county has made good progress, you don't want to leave others behind. Because we are one government and 47 other governments, but one country.
Yeah.
That's how we are functioning.
And that's why we are
saying, all one country. If you want to connect a railway network, you want it to go to Naivasha, Nakuru, Nyamira, Kisumu, then it takes people across the border to Malaba. That's the only way you can realize this dream you tell us of taking us somewhere.
But then start somewhere.
You will not take us somewhere by just saying we have one city that is
but start somewhere, isn't it?
Beautiful.
Start somewhere.
No. You cannot isolate 46 counties. And
nobody has isolated.
You only want to support
one. We need to wrap up. We need to wrap that particular
But nobody
topic.
has isolated. And that argument is what has brought us to where we are. You see that argument in the Senate?
Yes, but
it makes us look so bad because you wonder now to Turkana. From the time we started devolution, Mandera, 10 billion, and there's no money you normally say remained at the national government.
Okay,
honestly.
it appears all of us were in concurrence that...
we are in concurrence. That Nairobi should move. It is a collaboration.
Please don't put words into my mouth. No. Agreement in terms of what?
In terms of Nairobi should be a metropolis. You're the one who...
metropolis,
yes.
We are together.
So it has to be built.
Now I have all the legislators here in the house.
It has to be built.
What is the way forward? We begin with you.
To amend the way forward is that we amend our constitution. And I told you, we don't need to fear. America amended their constitution after 5 years, after enacting it. 5 years. And they did 12 amendments. Australia did theirs in 1901. By 1906, they had done their first amendment. But in this country, you are told, no, we should not touch our constitution. Let's bite the bullet, the ball. Amend our constitution, make Nairobi a metropolis. so that I have a right to be here the way Mheshimiwa has and my colleague here from Nandi Hills.
So where do we begin? We begin with a motion. How do we begin it?
We just begin.
Somebody has to take the initiative.
Draft a constitutional amendment.
Have
public participation.
Indeed.
And you can't avoid it. Take it to the referendum.
Yeah.
And anything referendum is what the government does not want to hear. They say, oh, referendum, oh, if we lose, I don't know what.
So how do you lose Nairobi when you want it to be a metropolitan?
I mean, it doesn't, let the people make a decision.
Yeah.
You know, in these other countries, by the way, attempts are made to amend the constitution. If it passes well and good, if it fails, nothing wrong.
The government structure
we don't need to fear.
will remain.
It's a constitutional...
But in terms of functionality, then you have both supporting it to grow.
Okay.
But the governance structure can still remain. You can still have a mayor if you want. The county assembly will still remain there because it has to do bylaws to reorganize that metropolis. But you move.
So this particular amendment can proceed from the Senate?
In fact, even National Assembly, anybody can move, even Senate,
yeah, because
even
I know there is always this debate. Oh, yeah, this is a county function, and so now we know in the spirit we have concurrence right now.
You have to just take it to a referendum.
To a referendum.
It can emanate.
Yes, so I just wanted to see who can take that initiative.
It can emanate even from the Senate. Of course, it must be. If we want to make it a parliamentary initiative,
both.
From the Senate, it must go to the National Assembly.
It starts together.
If they concur, then it will go to the referendum. If not, it can be a popular initiative. Anybody sponsors it, get approval from county assemblies, then it comes
or even
to us.
Nairobians can collect the signatures.
The signatures, yes.
Yeah. But it's a healthy debate for me. It's a healthy debate.
In my view, I think that is a very political thing. I can tell you the best thing for now is let's go the route of having the national government support, the county government.
We
the
agree.
Aspect of constitutional change.
We agree, but we are looking, in the future. This is a band-aid solution.
You gave me an opportunity to speak, right?
Yes.
So let me express my mind, right?
Okay.
You have shared that this is what needs to be done. I can tell you it is a very long shot. There are so many other, as I said earlier, there are so many other things that in this country needs a constitutional review or constitutional changes here and there on several aspects, not only in Nairobi. So I would say, yes, it's a good idea, but I can tell you it's an extremely long shot. Thank you.
Long shot, but somebody has to ask us to bite the bullet and take it.
No, allow you.
I can tell you.
Because this is the banded solution. We've had metro.
Short term, Dibal, we agree on this.
Yeah.
We know it, and we are hoping it will enhance delivery for all residents and also efficiency. But at the same time, this is what everyone must be asking ourselves. This capital city, we either agree it is unique than any other, and we agree it has to be given a different way of being managed, or we bite the bullet, as you say, and we ask Kenyans, the capital city, how do we run it? Because you will still need a lot of, every day you have new people who come to look jobs in Nairobi, and they just enter. And they just, you see, Kwanza, we don't even have a system of addresses to know who is new. This is not Rwanda where they know, oh, Dibala arrived in Rwanda. No, we've just left it that way. So we have an influx of different people.
Right, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, I can see we're remaining just a few minutes, but we must carrying on with the politics of the day. Okongo Mogini was in Kitengela, and we know what really happened in Kitengela. We want just to find out exactly, because we've seen people are raising concerns regarding the insecurity that is now slipping into politics. And looking at the time that we can see the days are peeling off the calendar, we're ticking towards the general election. And we wouldn't want to have such scenarios where people do not have any freedom, or you're looking at your back all the time because you are not really sure if your security is, secured. So this is the questions that we just want to bring on the table, first of all. You can give us an account of what really happened and what, from your own assessment, were the missing gaps. And this should have been the reaction from the government as well.
First, my very
condolences.
Sincere condolences to the family of that young man who, if we were proper democracy, ought not to have lost his life. there's no parent in the world who wants to lose a child at that very tender age, especially in such circumstances. A youth attending a peaceful rally, and then the police, unprovoked, shoot him dead. It's a very sad death. And 3-4 days, there's no apology from the government of the day. Government has not even come in to say, we are sorry, we shall assist the family to bury this young man, and we will take action, investigate and take action against the police officer that was involved. That's not the Kenya I want to live in. That's not the Kenya we want to leave our children to. We need a better country. Our forefathers, including Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, sacrificed a lot. They gave everything to give us a better society where we have freedom. We have our Bill of Rights that guarantees us Kenyans some civil liberties, including the freedom to assemble and freedom of speech, etc. The rally in Kitengela was very, very peaceful. In fact, we were all just listening to speakers when from nowhere, without any provocation, the police started firing tear gas at us just to break up the rally. I don't know whether they were irritated by the huge turnout or the excitement of the audience that was in attendance. So I condemn that action by the police, and I hope the president, because under our Article 240, is the one who supervises all the national security organs. He's the chairman. And the Constitution gives him that supervisory authority. I hope he will do something, because that citizen who died is a Kenyan and he deserves to live. He deserves to live, Tibal. There is no justification at all to kill that young man. I feel that pain the way I will feel pain if anybody shot Mheshimiwa here, member for Nandi, or the member for Dagoretti North.
God forbid.
God forbid, yes. I mean, it's not something that we should, take lightly and laugh about. So I hope that going forward, we can stop this violence. And Dibal, we have seen many countries, when you try to suppress political rights, it's not a guarantee that you will win an election. In 2021, I was part of the observer team in Zambia. And President Lungu had used a lot of suppression. He had used the security agencies to really harass Echilemi Akainde. But when the Zambians went to the ballot, he received, votes from regions that were even traditionally Lungus, because people were annoyed, like, why are we harassing this man? Why are we harassing supporters of this man? He's just trying to win an election and also lead a country, You saw what happened in Senegal. The guy was deemed to be the opponent in that contest, was jailed, but this young man, I think he's 34, came in the last minute and he won. So when you try to use the security agencies to harass people, it will come to a time when it will turn against you.
But
finally, even you saw what Bashir did in Sudan, the way he used the military, the police. But it came to a time when even the military told him, no, now you have killed enough Sudanese people. In fact, we are going to arrest you. And they arrested him. And as we speak, he's in jail. Let's not push our country to that level. Our constitution is so progressive. Eh? It sets up Kenya as a multi-party democracy in Article 4. And we should compete. The only thing that makes us not to fight with Waheshimiwa here is because we are competing on ideas. That's how democracy should function.
But are we competing on ideas?
No, the government has become violent.
Oh, come on.
But we just need to ask ourselves, should we also question our brand of politics?
Yeah.
Because what is being spewed from also podiums, they are not issues. You know, these are personal attacks, these are personal politics,
it's just
vitriol verbalizing that we can hear, from...
Maybe you should elaborate. Who is doing that? It's happening from both sides.
It's
happening on both sides.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
Yeah.
Should we question our brand of politics? Because...
have you seen anybody attacking the people who have a contrary view? They go to wherever. I've seen them come to Nyamira. They do their rally. They finish, they go.
Thank you.
You should reciprocate the same. If I go, to do a meeting in Nyamira, allow me to say what I have got to say.
Yeah.
And anybody breaking the law,
I think Senator is having all the time talking.
Anybody breaking the law, just calm down.
Yeah, because
just calm down.
The entire session.
Anybody, when you spew facts, they hurt. Just cool down. If anybody breaks the law, we have the Penal Code, we have the National Cohesion Act. You can arrest me or anybody else. But coming in to shoot at people through tear gas does not reflect a country that respects our democratic ideals.
Thank you. Elachi.
Dibal, we must accept as politicians what we are doing is absolutely not right for the country. All of us. Whether it is us in the broad-based or who. And it didn't start with broad-based, it started way back. It is something we are so used to. Even during Matiangi's time, those things they were just doing. They have never stopped. And so my senator cannot think it will stop now. Because even when we were there with him, with my former president, we used to do it. And the worst is, we never care. I am sorry to say today, as politicians, when young people are left there, gone, when their time is not right, that untimely death that is not supposed to be there. And it is because of just one thing. Just sitting down, first of all, with young people and agreeing yourselves as a team that we are going. Anyone who snatches something of someone, you have your boys to make sure that young man cannot go far and return the thing of that person. We do a lot of mistakes and ignore. There are those who are not in our rallies, but they're just passing. But our young people, you just see, they've snatched and they have gone. So we find ourselves in those crises because we have refused to sit down with them and just say, in this rally today, we must protect those who are not with us and ensure nobody speaks anything that is not yours. That is the first mistake we do. And our young people, with the excitement they come with, they just feel it is something good they are doing. And even now, right now, someone has written to me, one of our boys who went, the piki-piki also went. He wants us to try and help him to get the piki-piki. So all those things we do as politicians is wrong. Go to an area, meet the people of that area. Don't move with people from thousands and thousands of kilometers, now taking to an area they don't know how to exit, they don't know where to start from, they have no idea. When now danger comes, that's why we end up making them going. And us, we shall enter the cars and zoom as if nothing happened. And we continue. That has to stop. Let us go to an area and address the people of that area. Tell them the issues you have come to say and leave. But we are not doing that. All of us are carrying people. We carry with the buses, we carry with everything to make a rally be big. But you have left, there was no vote there. Because how was it your vote or not your vote when you have just gone to just speak? That is the mistake all politicians must accept. But this thing of us having blood on our hands, we must stop. And I want to tell Senator, you wrote on the papers you are the 90s. Don't go back on that thing of where young people will die in your rallies, whether it's the police shooting or who. Always ask yourself, when I started thinking about this meeting, how did I address the young people we moved with? That should be the thing.
I think I also want to join and say it's very sad to have lost a young life by the name Vincent, I think Ayomo, a 28-year-old young person. Sincere condolences. And it's very sad to lose a young person in their prime age. Secondly is, I know this year is going to have an octane politics. I did mention that earlier because there's, there are new formations that are coming up. There are people who want to identify with a particular segment, a constituent, say the young people now, because this is also a constituent that probably, like what is happening in ODM, that caste split that is in there. And it's as someone, as Mheshimiwa has mentioned, I think we need to take responsibility. There have been so many theatrics in this game of politics. Sometimes, and everything, it is easy to give a punch back on government and say, the government has done that, because it's an easy one. There are some scenarios, situations that have always been, hard. People create, they go for a rally. Some people even have tear gases. You throw the tear gas there just to disperse. All these gymnastics to do what? To create attention. I am actually also aware that there were some of these rallies where people were being picked from, some sections of the city, and they were being transported there to create an illusion. All right?
Really?
And some of them go there. Of course, you would expect also there are some people who go there with different notions and ideas. And therefore...
Illusion, but people just follow.
Yeah, it's an illusion.
So
that
are you making
the other people will look
the
as
fact
if
that it was not organic?
No, yeah, it's not organic. Some of them are actually artificial for the purposes of creating an image.
But it's good also to have substantiation.
Well, I'm the one who's speaking, so give me time. So I was very sad also.
Me and I'm asking you also a solid question.
It was very sad also to hear.
You should ask me.
It was very sad to hear Senator Mogeni here.
We are all politicians, Dibal.
It was very sad to hear Senator Mogeni begin to compare Kenya with failed states. Our country is way above. In fact, an island in this region in terms of democracy.
Which failed state did he mention?
He was talking about Sudan. He was talking about those countries that are now going through problems and trying to compare Kenya with those kinds of countries.
Did you mention Sudan?
So yes, he did. He did. I was very keen to listen to him because he wants to always project, the government.
Yet he's still sleeping in the failed state.
Exactly. He's still in the failed
context. In what context was he mentioned?
You need to be very keen. He was talking about Bashir, the president that is in jail and those kinds of things. So now it's still my time again, Senator.
I can only pray for Mheshimiwa.
Therefore,
if you can't process,
let him finish.
No. I was very keen on listening to him. So I wish to say that Kenya is a country, and I think the President of the Republic of Kenya has over time and again expressed in how he wants our country to be run. I think the future and where we are going, if you don't have ideas that you'll be sharing in rallies and talking of the agenda of where you want to take this nation, it will be a big problem going into the future. It is not going to be theatrics, because I was very keen also to listen to when they were talking in those rallies, and you really want to hear what are the content of what do they want to take this country. And unfortunately, the only way they can survive is theatrics.
Sloganeer?
Because
one time you
those ones.
Agenda,
one time
you're being challenged.
By the way,
we need to wind up your closing remarks as well.
Yeah, because I was in charge, I can only pray for Mheshimiwa. I think all I can offer him is prayers and my sympathy. Looking at what he says.
Yeah.
Imagine someone
on the first day of Lent.
He cannot even contextualize. When I'm telling him that there are things you can do that can lead to some consequences. He doesn't even follow my thoughts to understand that there are some things you do that can make Kenya become a Sudan. That's the point I'm making. You should be able to take that in context. When I'm giving you these examples, I'm telling you. How difficult is it for you to listen, to digest something?
I was very keen. I was very keen to everything you're talking about.
I've told him that if you allow this country to degenerate,
but anyway, Dibal,
if you allow this country to be in the hands of militias, you are pushing us to have a failure.
I like that he has changed the narrative now. That is very good.
I think I must.
We need to wind up.
I must really break these things for him to understand. I'm sorry.
I like the way he's doing the narrative.
Me, Dibal,
okay, but can we have his closing remarks? Let me come to you.
Let me tell you,
Dibal.
Ayomo is a mechanic in Kitengela. Let's not joke with death. Ayomo is a mechanic in Kitengela. Not transported from anywhere. From his working place going home, shot dead. If that cannot prick our conscience or our soul, I don't know what will.
Thank you.
When you come to this show telling us I can swear by the Bible, Dibal, that I drove to Kitengela as one person alone. The people I found there was no bus, no lorry, nobody transported anybody. Dibal. At the end of the day, I expect the police officers to provide security to the people who come to that rally. Nobody has made an allegation here that the people who are in attendance provoked the police. You are even being told that people came with tear gas that they unleashed. I mean, what a shame.
All right, we need
coming
to
from an elected leader.
Thank you.
Dibal, if we need to save this country, let us accept that we must compete for ideas in our political platforms. And we must disagree to agree. That's how we do our politics.
Thank you.
And be tolerant to each other.
Thank you. Right, Beatrice, your closing remarks.
For me, this is what I'll say.
30 seconds.
It is important for all of us. And as politicians, I don't need to come here. These 30 days, I'm not pretending. We do a lot of bad things. We must stop. All of us. I wouldn't say this one is good, this one, no. We are doing wrong. If we want to go somewhere, just go in that area, meet the people there, do a good rally there, and finish and leave. I know young people, I've told you with excitement, even here in Nairobi, they will follow you with border from where, which is okay. But always remember
Thank you.
that they have come from far and anything can happen to them as they come. That's why I've said, before you do your rally, do what Baba used to do. Baba would go in a region, meet the people 2 to 3 days before he does that rally. He will have met all those stakeholders and spoken and made sure things. The day he wants now to make it his way is when he will just come out. But in really rallies in the regions, Baba, 2 days, have a meeting first with stakeholders, meet his delegates, then now you go to a rally.
Thank you.
You will never find young people even taking anything for anyone and finding themselves in this chaotic manner. We want to do this politics.
Thank you.
Thank
Finally.
you, Thank you, Dibal. I think we will be having several other, rallies happening now across the country, even as it's going to be fever pitch as time goes by. In my view, is to ask us Kenyans, all Kenyans, that let's also be conscious of our own safety. Let's do what is right. And much more, I think the greater responsibility is on us leaders. When we are the ones now leading, let's see also those that have been having the right practices, but also into the very near future, I think it shall be, what is it that we as leaders have in our minds?
Thank you.
What is the vision? What's the dream? What is that which we really want to change the lives of the people? It's not going to be theatrics or games.
Thank you very much, Bernard Kitur, Member of Parliament, Nandi Hills. Really appreciate. He's just reminding you, when you take a text out of context, it becomes a pretext. So this is and British Elachi, thank you so much. Member of Parliament, Dagoretti North, and also Kongo Mogini. We really appreciate you coming, the Senator of Nyamira. And of course, we as a country, as we're heading even to a very high-octane, intense moment of politics, we need to remind ourselves, in essentials unity, in non-essentials liberty, and in all things charity. Let's congregate about things that really matters in this country. When it comes to the essentials, we're talking about the Constitution and the rule of law. When it comes also to the non-essentials, of course, we have, yes, the things that we cannot really kill ourselves over, but we can agree to disagree. Those will be the non-essential and all things charity. Thank you very much for your valid company. May you sleep serenely and have a restorative night. Thank you.